It ain't nothing but me, top boss big nations. Yo, passport bro next door. Nations Village. Where should we stay when we go to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic? Now, you have all kind of choices of Airbnbs from apartments to houses. And this is the Airbnb war. So we're going to take a look at both a couple of apartments and also a house. Right here, what we're looking at is the first apartment that I stayed in when I went to Santo Domingo for the first time. Now, this apartment was in the Piantini area, which is the upscale area of Santo Domingo. It's very nice, very inviting. You can walk around to many different spots. And this area, I learned about this area through Ronan the Traveler. You know, he always recommended recommended for brothers to come and stay in the Piantini area because of the convenience, the safety, and the amenities that you're going to get with the apartments. Now, when it comes to the apartments in Piantini, usually they're going to have the same makeup. If you get a 1-bedroom apartment, when you first walk in to the apartment, there's usually a two quarter bath on the, when you first walk in the hallway. Then you have your living room area, and you'll have your master suite, which has, the full bath with the shower and everything. You'll also have your full kitchen, complete with all the appliances that you need. Now, it is important to note that the stove that you'll be getting in these apartments is going to be a gas stove. The absolute best thing about these apartments in Piantini is the view from the balconies. Just about every apartment is going to have a balcony, and the views that you're going to get from some of these places are, they're pretty amazing. This is the balcony at the first apartment I stayed in Piantini. Now, the balcony is a must for me because most of these places you can't smoke inside of them, so you're gonna have to go outside to smoke. So a balcony is a must when I'm getting an apartment in Santo Domingo, because we like to smoke the props, so we gotta light up, we gotta get our mind right, and we gotta reflect. We out here on the balcony, Piantini, Santo Domingo. We got the view. We got the vibes. We got Presidente. We got green. Everything good. Top boss up. Yee! It ain't nothing but me. Hey gang, say gang, if you watching this right now, like the video, drop a comment below, share it with friends, family, and a foe, and tap that subscribe button to become a part of Nations Village. We stay going up. Another cool thing about these apartments in Piantini is the elevators. Just about every elevator that I've seen in these apartments, they're fully glassed out, and the glass is always clean, and man, it's just a good place for you to take pictures, or just enjoy your little ride up to the rooftop balcony. Which is another thing that these apartments offer. Most of the time, the pool, if they have a pool or a jacuzzi, most of the time it's going to be on the rooftop, just like what we're looking at right now. And you can't beat that. You're sitting on top of the city, and you got your pool right there. You sit in there, relax, drink you a Presidente or two. Listen to some Dembo. Hey, you got everything that you need, and this is why I say being in Piantini, it always makes me feel like I'm in Miami Vice. I don't know if people get the reference of that show, but back in the day, Miami Vice was my favorite show, man. They kept it real player on there. Yeah, check it out, Nations Village. This is what we talking about, amenities. You got the beautiful view, you got your nice pool, your rooftop balcony, recreational area, complete with kitchen, bar, lounge area, everything you need. You know, you're gonna feel a player too when you in the spot. So the whole vibe, the whole feel that you're gonna get when you're in these apartments in Piantini is, I don't know any other way to say it, but player. The vibe's gonna be player. You gonna feel player on the inside, and everything gonna be cool. You got the views. I can't talk enough about the views. I spend most of my time on the balcony. Here, this the second apartment that I stayed in, also in the Piantini area, and this was my favorite apartment just because of the location. It was like seemed like it was in the heart of Piantini. All you saw was hustle and bustle all day long, and this location had, I don't know, maybe 10 digital billboards within eyesight. You may not be able to see all of them in this daytime shot, but man, when you go out there on this balcony and you could see billboards all night long. Like I said, it was about 10 of them. And this particular apartment, the balcony was huge. It was a L shaped. You could be on, so it was like on a corner, L shaped, so you could be on one side of the building, and then you could go to the other side of the building and just look out at all the sights. So, man, I don't know. I just can't get enough of these views here. Make no mistake, being in one of these apartments in this Piantini area with the fire balcony is going to give you a status boost. So if you got, if you got friends there, or you're trying to make new friends and you invite them over, they're going to be really impressed when they come to that Airbnb in Piantini. Nation's Village. Lo and behold, though, the last time I went to Santo Domingo, I stayed in the Distro Nacional area, and I got this 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a nice jacuzzi. And to be honest, man, once I stayed here, I don't know if I want to go back and stay in another apartment again. Now this area that I was in is not as compact as Piantini. When you're in Piantini, you can basically walk anywhere you needed to. Now this area right here in Distro Nacional, it was inside of almost like a fenced in community, and there was a Kamado out there, so you could walk to that. But if you wanted to go to the supermercado or any other place, yeah, you're gonna have to get in that big bad rental and drive a couple of minutes down the road to get to those types of things. But the freedom of being in this house, that really kind of sold me, because when you stay in the apartments in Santo Domingo, different Airbnb hosts have different rules about having guests. They usually have a maximum guest limit when you're in those apartments, and some of the hosts are real strict about having visitors. Some hosts require that you contact them anytime you bring someone over, if they're, if it's not anyone that you checked in with or whatever, if they're not on the check-in sheet with you, they want you to contact them. You got to send the person's ID, and you have to go through a lot of rigmarole. That I've been in that situation a time or two, and it may take an hour to get the approval. So being in this house, the only rule basically was no big parties. So hey, I could deal with that. There was no big parties, and it was quiet time at 11 p.m. So that means once 11 p.m. came around, you couldn't play any loud music or anything like that. But like I said, man, the freedom, I had a nice little pool party here one night. Everything went off smooth. Like I said, being in this house also made me feel more immersed into the culture, because I had to interact with the neighbors, because we did have a couple of power outages when I was in this house, which is one disadvantage to staying in a house opposed to one of the apartments in Piantini. You never gonna have no power outages in the apartments in Piantini. If it does go out, they got backup generators and inverters and everything to keep you back rolling. So yeah, in this house I did have power outages 2 days back to back, and I had to interact with the neighbors as far as getting information on how long the power outage would last. And one time I had to borrow matches from one of the neighbors so that I could light the gas stove with my pancake breakfast. And that's the thing about staying in this house that makes me consider, that makes me reconsider ever staying in an apartment again. It's the feeling of being at home, even though you are thousands of miles away from your actual home in the United States. I felt right at home. I felt like the house was mine. When I had people over for dinner or relaxing in the pool, I felt like a upstanding host, because at the end of the day, it's really all about experiencing as much of the Dominican culture as you can. So the more outside of your comfort zone you go, the better off you'll be as far as the cultural experience. So having an apartment in Piantini will make you feel like Ricardo Tubbs in Miami Vice. Well, having a house in Santo Domingo is going to make you feel like Hugh Hefner at the Playboy Mansion. Now, I am interested, Nations Village. Where do you all stay when you go to Santo Domingo? Do you always get an apartment? Have you ever stayed in a house in Santo Domingo? Let us know in the comments below. And I think that'll do it for this video. All right, Nations Village, until the next time, y'all stay going up. We out.